It says live.
Yeah, I gotta delete some.
Oh.
We got too much stuff on here.
I ain't never seen a dog on camera look at somebody like you're supposed to be doing something. Like,
Yeah.
and the dog looked at him like, "Oh, so you just gonna record?" All right,
Yeah.
man.
Okay, so we're live. We're live.
Yo, what up?
Welcome to Two Words for You, the Kingdom Cast presentation and vision of a wrestling podcast. Today, we got our co-host Rimp Sanity in the building. He's back, like he left something. Today, we have a special guest from the 5 Count podcast, along with my favorite Canadian, John Edwards. We have my boy Big G, Port Arthur's own. And if he don't get Jamal Charles on the Kingdom Cast podcast, we're gonna fire him. We just gonna get rid of him. We're gonna find a way to get rid of him.
Hey,
He from Port Arthur, man. Port Arthur ain't that big. He know Jamal Charles. He know Alicia's cousin.
Funny enough, we played ball together. So he trying to fire me up about
exactly. Former teammate. Nah. Do anybody introduce you? Former teammate of Jamal Charles, Big G.
What's going down, ladies and gentlemen? We're here to talk wrestling. I'm Big George, as usual, coming over from the 5 Count. Where we do 5 Count podcasts to where we kind of take your top 5 compared to the top 5 and see how it ranks up. So, of course, every Tuesday at late at night at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern, we on live on Twitter, YouTube, and coming to Twitch here soon. So, hey, check us out.
For sure. Check them out. I've been on there a couple of times. Rimp, you got to get on there a couple of times. Well, that might be too late for Rimp got one of them jobs, bro. I
do. I got that 9 to 5. And listen, spoiler alert, it's about to get way busier, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, he's a producer extraordinaire.
Mm-hmm. Channel.
So, the title of this episode is Main Event or Opening Act. And spoiler alert, a lot of these questions are going to get answered tonight if you haven't watched the episode of Raw. But it was rumored. Well, a lot of these questions got answered on SmackDown. That's why it sucks that we had to push the show back. Because it was going to be about Jey Uso and Gunther
and whether
being
it's a main event or not. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it going to be a main event or an opening act? Spoiler alert, on SmackDown, they answered that question very definitively.
Candidly.
They answered that question of who's going to be main eventing. Let's start there. Do you have a problem? Because earlier I had a problem with Jey not main eventing because I feel like night 2 is definitely Cody and Cena.
Yeah.
And you're going to end that, bro. And it's hard because I'm trying not to spoil today's episode.
Yeah.
It's like this. I don't know if people are going to be happy or mad that John Cena won.
Yeah.
Because I feel like John Cena's going to win. And George, we feel like John Cena's going to win. I feel I'm always in the category of sending the fans home happy, and then you're going to send them home mad. So I feel like night 1, you got to send them home happy. But with that threesome, with that triple threat match of Punk, Roman, and Seth, who is your send them home happy guy? Is it CM Punk? Is it Roman? Is it Seth? Like anybody could win that match.
But I don't think anybody could win it.
I mean, you could have anybody win that match and the crowd would be happy. Like if you watch SmackDown, all of them are over, all at the same time. They're all over.
Yeah.
So if anybody wins, I think if you had to pick the biggest babyface in the match, it'd probably be Punk. So if you had to send them home the happiest, maybe you have CM Punk win. But I think the crowd would be more than happy with a Roman win or a Seth win.
What you think, Jordan?
I got an opinion. I feel like the send them home happy thing kind of just goes with one person, and this one person ain't even wrestling. This kind of all just dictated by Paul Heyman. Whatever that favor is, whatever that decision is that he decides to walk off with, that's the send them home happy and or the send them home mad. Because at the end of the day, you got Seth, who's obviously not necessarily been a Paul Heyman guy, but could be a Paul Heyman guy with the way he's, kind of turning his heel. And then you got CM Punk and Roman Reigns, who are obviously Paul Heyman guys that are obviously feuding. So the easy way for him to get out of that is to remove himself from the situation and align himself with somebody else. But who says Paul Heyman does that? So I'm always on the fence about it a little bit because this triple threat is kind of big, bro. Like more you think about it, the closer we get to Mania, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger every week. Cody and John Cena are trying to compete in hindsight, in my eyes, because that triple threat match is like really, really big. So at the same time, I know what you mean by sending him home happy. In hindsight, just to answer your question, I think it's Roman. I think Roman goes babyface after this because at the end of the day, you definitely do have CM Punk, who's not necessarily your heel or hero. He's more of the vigilante type. And then, of course, you got a clear heel and babyface if you got Roman and Seth. I say Roman goes babyface again. Somehow, Paul Heyman just kind of ends up not necessarily by his side no more after this pay-per-view. I just feel like the wise man is going to, go his own way. So
that's another thing that them being the main event tells me it's going to be some shenanigans involved.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be something because it has to go on last. As soon as they said the triple threat is main event, I said, okay, something going to happen. Something is going to happen, screwy or something like that. It's going to be a turn in there somewhere. They were doing, in my opinion, a slow build with Jay and Gunther.
Yes.
And that kind of hurt it. Tonight's episode turns it up.
A notch,
it's at 10 now, baby. It's at 10. It's at it like last week it was at like a 5. Like Jay and Gunther sounds good, but it's not. But man, they turned it all the way up today. But do you think without spoiling it,
you're about to ask, should Jay and Gunther have been the night one main event?
I'm saying, what could have made them the number one event? What would you have changed?
I think truly people are going to blame Jay Uso. He can only do super kicks. He can only do 5 moves, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if y'all know this or not. Jay Uso is one of the most over superstars in the company. It's not his fault this thing is not main event. And the sad reality of the situation is Gunther is not as big of a superstar as he could be. You see what I'm saying? Like, imagine if Roman were the world heavyweight champion and Jey Uso were on the other side. This is main eventing easily, without a doubt, is main eventing night one. CM Punk, if he were the other champion, this would be main eventing easily, no question, because Jey Uso and CM Punk are 2 of the most over guys in the company. The reality of the situation is Gunther is over. People like him. He chops. He's menacing. He's threatening, but he's just not as big as the other guys. He's not moving the needle as much as the other guys were, especially Roman when he was the top heel in the company.
Is that the product of his mic skills, you think?
I think his mic skills are honestly above what I even thought they were. Like he can be cutting. Like I forget what promo it was, but he was making fun of the American audience. He was like, wrestling for American audience is like reciting Shakespeare for a dog. It's like, dang, okay, fine.
Yeah, he is.
He came with heat.
So he can cut a promo. I just think it's been a product of, I don't know what it is. There's something missing from this world title run that was absolutely there for his Intercontinental Championship run. You see what I'm saying? Like that triple threat match between him, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre, I feel like that match could have absolutely main evented this WrestleMania. I think just the build up and what his championship run has been so far just hasn't been what it was in the past. Could that be him not wrestling as much? That could be, because I mean he's the world champion, so he doesn't get to wrestle as much. That's the perks of that. But it's just something with this run isn't clicking as much as it was with his Intercontinental Championship run.
I gotta say something. He's totally right in the sense of it not necessarily having the same pop as his Intercontinental run. But I think the match you kind of alluded to this, that match he had for his Intercontinental title run was what set up him being the Intercontinental champion. Like it kind of has to have you have to have a match that kind of solidifies, oh shit, you're the champion. And I think this is the match that actually does that. Because to me, in hindsight, what if all this happens and Gunther still beats Jay? Then we have another champion that we're looking at that not even the fans can get behind a person and he can beat him. Like, then you have a real heel. Like, remember when Triple H was champion back in the day? Like
the Reign of Terror.
The Reign of Terror. As much as you saw, like, good ass competition come in, Booker T was one of the people that they hyped up real good.
Way over. Booker T was way over.
This is exactly the Gunther and Jey Uso match. You got an over superstar, as in quote unquote Booker T, and you got a champion that nobody sits up here and looks at as champion until he beats the shit out you, and it's like, so we really can't beat him? That's what Gunther's going to become. That's why I feel like he doesn't have as much momentum because, of course, you got this other pay-per-view match where you have 3 former champions. You have a pay-per-view match where you have one person who won Money in the Bank, one person who damn near ran the company, and another dude, he can leave and come back, and at the end of the day, the fans are going to love him regardless. So that match already had its hype. It's been having hype for years to come. It just has never happened. I put it to you like this. If CM Punk would never left, we saw this match a whole long time ago. Yeah. But the fact that he left and came back, we are right here at the apex of what that triple threat can even be. So I'm respecting it for that. So you can't really compare that world heavyweight title, run to that Intercontinental title run because he hasn't had that match he needs to solidify he's that heel yet. Because, of course, when you have a babyface champion, he can go out there any week, and it doesn't matter who it is. He can come out there against, like Cody can come out there against, I don't know, Shinsuke Nakamura. And if Shinsuke has a good night on the mic one night, then you have some competition. We all know that when they get in the ring, that's what's going to actually tell it. But right now, Gunther has a run right now where he can talk his shit, and you have no choice but to believe him. Because ain't nobody beat him yet. Ain't nobody knocked him off that hill yet. So, yeah. You can want like he gives you that speaking French to a dog kind of thing. Like he has that grit in him. He has it, and I love the fact that they don't want to push him too hard to be this huge villain that everybody loves to hate. No, everybody one by one is going to get their ass knocked off because I'm the general and just kind of he's going to take it over. So eventually he's going to have some pop. Like I say, I don't think it's going to be too big or too strong, from right now. Because like I say, Jey Uso is probably going to be that match. And you never know. It might be the one he wins at WrestleMania where you look at him like, damn, he really is the world heavyweight champion and there's nobody going to be able to knock him off. Unless they push somebody super hard. I don't know if it's going to be Jey to do it. That's my thing. I don't know if it's going to be Jey. Now, Jey, but...
I'm saying you put the first crack in my windshield of Jey Uso winning WrestleMania because it's like, damn, that kind of make sense. It's like it kind of does make sense.
It would be the definitive win for Gunther's reign so far. It would be the definitive one.
Yeah, but also they're building it so good that Jay's the underdog right now.
Yeah, this is like a Kofi Mania, Daniel Bryan kind of run that he's having. Sami Zayn.
Is it a WrestleMania 39 Cody angle where they built? Cody was supposed to win at 39, right?
Exactly.
Is it that?
It may be one of those build-ups to where Jey Uso really wants to put himself in as the man, and he has to beat the man. But in order to beat the man, you have to be the man. And Gunther is building himself to be the man that you really have to be. Like, your brother can't come in here and help you. You can't come in here and stop me. Roman can't come in here and help you. Jacob Fatu can't come over here and do anything. It has to be you. So that build-up to have him as coming in as champion, like they might do that. They might have to move some pieces around. But at the same time, that world title run with Gunther might be a long one. Y'all might hate the shit out of it because y'all feel like he's not a flashy superstar. But I tell you, it's going to be just like the Reign of Terror in the sense that's going to be a motherfucking belt that he is terrorizing and nobody else can be able to stop him.
Well, if you ever have to change the name of this podcast, it might change to Shenanigans. There's a big strong, country-fed white boy up in Canada that's been out for a while.
He's been out for a minute, a hot minute.
If you add him into the mix, that feud doesn't need a belt at all. So you can slide Jay the belt and then build this beast versus beast match for the next year or so.
Mm-hmm.
You know the Raw after WrestleMania is always
bringing that Minnesota guy out for the Raw after Mania, that was more of a Vince.
We just ain't gonna say his name. We just gonna allude.
No, we gonna allude to it. That's more of a Vince thing than it is a Triple H thing, though.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see them bringing that dude out simply because it's a lot of me personally, I don't like to insert a random player to a point. Like he was that. Like when the Kofi Mania kind of came in, or when when the other black people would win the title or anybody would win the title.
Here come yeah.
And all of a sudden then that music come on and you had no choice but to, you already know he's getting the belt and they building it for something else. No matter what they did to kind of do it, that was a Vince button that he pushed all the time that would solve all his problems. So at a certain point, you kind of have to let that go, because I don't want to see him come back into the company and walk straight to the top. I don't want nobody to be able to do that. That's kind of the reason why you hate John Cena so much for, the way his heel run is going. Because he inserted himself in certain matches and still didn't win those. And it was like, I'm going to do this. And nobody said nothing. So now Cody has to go ahead and fight that off. And I think that's a cool kind of way to look at it. Like, you got somebody who can easily point and make their shot no matter what. Like, it's hard to have like these hard, superstars that you can kind of insert in anything. And he was one of those. And that's the thing. Like, you can see that at any point in anybody's match, you can hit that Brock button. And then all of a sudden, everybody's life is different, regardless. Like, so if that triple threat match started and it ended with that Brock music, I'm not gonna lie, I might pop, because that'd be some crazy shit. Them three and him walking there, we can make that a fatal four-way. We can make WrestleMania 3 nights. I don't give a damn. But at that point, that's not what's gonna happen. But you got to kind of figure out, all right, if they're gonna enter a primetime player at any point in time, who would it be? Because they used to do that a lot with him. Now we have a whole bunch of, really playable stars, in the sense of a lot of these matches have more history than it was just about hearsay. So I like the fact that you would do that, but I don't think that'll happen on this one. Hopefully not.
Yeah, we've seen it before too. This roster is so deep. Is this the deepest roster that we've had in years? Ever?
In years. No, I would say in years, because you can talk.
That ruthless aggression era was pretty deep, top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
The Attitude Era was kind of deep. The Attitude Era was a little top heavy.
It was top heavy.
Was big, though. It was a lot of top balls. Yeah. It was a lot of top involved. But
I'm a WCW guy, so
that's true.
W was bottom heavy. Like it was.
All the good guys were like mid-card and below.
Now the superstars were still superstars. It was just like, you came to watch them, but you can also watch a whole show.
Like the cruiserweight matches were crazy. Yeah.
Like the luchador matches was insane. Like, I'm a big luchador WCW fan, because they had some of the best luchadors in the business just walking through there and having matches with anybody. You had Dean Malenko versus Psychosis, and had all kinds of just matches. Yeah. I can go on for days about it, but at the end of the day,
we're gonna dive into a top five. We're gonna dive into a top five. Don't spoil it.
Don't get me started.
So I don't feel like Jay and Gunther got the short end of the stick. Mm-hmm. I think that, like you said, bro, the Roman Reigns versus Seth has been built for years.
Yeah,
it was no way you're not getting over that one. It's just people have been wanting to see that for years. Yeah. And then you add CM Punk into that, and it's like, okay, that's overkill.
It just sucks, because it's
even the women's championship. Even the women's championship, Bianca and Rhea we've been wanting to see that for years now.
Yeah.
So it was just hard to beat those two. It just you can't. It was nothing Jay and Gunther, and they did a hell of a job today They still not over that triple threat, and they might be over the women's match after today's, but even that went up a level today too. So they are building. Might be the best WrestleMania in a while. This might compete. They've been hitting for the last couple of years, but this might be even. They didn't took this one
promo.
We on 10 right now.
Yes.
We on 10 right now.
We at 17. Promo wise, we're at 17.
I was being generous.
Nah, I'm gonna say.
Is it WrestleMania 17?
Promo wise, because I would say the build up to this WrestleMania has been thought out for over years, rather than just, we just got somebody that we put in the spot this year. Like, nah, CM Punk and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins don't have any belts, but that's gonna be headlining. And I want you to understand that you couldn't stop that train from colliding if you wanted to. Like when Punk came back, you knew him and Seth Rollins was gonna have something. The way Seth he instantly came back, that was already gonna be something. Throwing Roman in there is the icing on the fucking cake. I got to see that match. I don't care if it's not a Hell in a Cell or a no DQ or whatever. I feel like that match is going to have a lot of stipulations to it, but I also feel like it's going to be something. Like you said, Country, it's going to be something. That night one is not going to just end with somebody raising their hand. It's going to have an ugly twist to it. That's why when you said send them home happy or send them home mad, it might be a little bit of both. Because there's going to be people who want one person to win, and that one person will win, but at the same time, they're going to go with something that somebody else did not expect. And that's what brings it home, man. Like that Monday night, like the match that takes place on night one is going to be talked about on Monday Night Raw. Night two will still happen, which I think that's dedicated to SmackDown. If I'm really thinking about it, I always kind of say SmackDown versus Raw. WrestleMania 1 is always Raw, and then WrestleMania 2 is always the SmackDown pay-per-view. It always seems to kind of work out that way. But Raw will be talked about that first night, and then SmackDown will talk about the second night. That whole week of Raw and SmackDown is going to be nasty. And I wish that they would kind of take an NXT star and kind of move him up at that point. But
at Raw after Mania?
At Raw
at Mania?
No, Raw after Mania.
I was thinking Trick was coming, but he's doing so good in NXT right now.
He might be turning heel. He might be turning heel.
They doing something special with Trick Williams right now.
I really hope Trick Williams is leading that faction and nobody knows. I really hope. That'd be the coolest way to kind of make Trick a instant star. Trick Williams should be running that faction. If he was running that faction, oh my God, that would take.
They always seem to come out when Trick is around,
right? And Trick always seems to not get attacked too.
You've noticed.
Trick ain't making eye contact with nobody. Trick fake mad about everything with everybody. Now you got some boys in the stands that's gonna come to your back every time, but they don't know that they working with you. Like, it be cold.
NXT got some interesting stuff going on right now. I do want to before we leave Gunther and Jay. Gunther was on LFG recently. That is the guy I want to see. He was menacing. He was mean. He wasn't playing. He was getting in Undertaker face. Undertaker like who?
Hey, he said that's my guy though. Undertaker said that's my guy.
Hey, but he said I looked at Gunther like, hey, boy, I'm gonna maybe put my wrestling boots back on. He talked crazy to Booker T. I want to see more of that guy. I would love to see more of that guy because what he did on LFG was it made me watch. So. Yeah. What he did there was crazy. Like I said, I hate to spoil it for you, Rimp. What they did tonight. Go ahead. What they did tonight with Jay and Gunther turned it up. It was perfect. It wasn't cheesy. It wasn't corny. They turned it up to 10. Now they are building tonight like WrestleMania is next week. I almost had to look at the day like, damn, is WrestleMania next week?
They built it real good.
And really good. And the 3 with Io, Rhea, and Bianca was built up great too.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And yes. And when Jimmy slapped Gunther, you already knew what was gonna happen. You knew what was gonna happen.
Okay.
And look, it happened. It happened in a major way today. It happened in a major way. It went down, but it was beautiful. We get Phoenix on SmackDown. Is that this week?
Yes. Yeah, he's coming. He's
Chicago,
coming.
right?
Yeah.
It's in Chicago. Oh, you know what that means.
CM Punk.
You already know what that means.
Boy, that boy Ray Phoenix is something else. If y'all like Penta, Ray Phoenix is gonna go crazy. I'm telling you.
Is it too early for Phoenix though?
So they have them on different brands. So I think they'll have a chance to because really my dream is to see them tag up again because they gonna run the tag division whenever they team up again. But shoot, you had Penta come in, and I bet you if they knew in retrospect how big Penta would have been, they would have debuted him sooner. They would have brought him in as quickly as possible. So I bet you they're trying to in retrospect, okay, Penta was really huge. We think Ray Phoenix is probably going to be just as huge. We're going to bring him in a lot quicker. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And if he's in shape, why not? Why not? If the boy's in shape, if he's in wrestling shape, why not get him out on SmackDown to knock off the rust as quickly as possible? And maybe he gets, makes an appearance at Mania or something when Penta beats Braun for the Intercontinental Championship or something.
Oh, we going there. Maybe
he just pops up. They celebrate or something. Maybe it'll just be like an innocent little thing. Nothing sinister.
And you know what? That leads back to the Jay and Gunther because I would love to see Braun Breaker take that next step up. And that would be
Braun versus Gunther.
If you're not gonna bring Brock back, I got another beast for you, and he's younger and he's hungrier. I can do that with you too. Y'all want to do that? I can give you a beast now.
All right, country, you're saying that. Do you truly, in your heart, think Jey Uso is going to lose at WrestleMania? Be honest.
It's a possibility.
It's
a very high possibility.
George cracked my windshield, man. I was never even thinking about Jay not winning.
That's the thing. You want him to win so bad because he's just that height. He's just that over. And I get it. I've watched wrestling for years. And at this point, I'm kind of understanding, why certain superstars don't go over at the time that they are set to go over in everybody's minds. A lot of people think because Jay is so hyped right now that he can easily get, get a title match. Bro, LA Knight's been hyped for 3 years. And his ass been fighting for U.S. title. Not saying that people don't love him, but there's a time and a place. And there's a certain level that you get to where your superstardom just kind of peaks out. This is not the end for Jey Uso. This is not the beginning for Jey Uso. This is a situation where Jey Uso is going to have to learn how to lose before he really takes that leap. And I think he takes the leap when he goes completely solo and stop messing with his brother altogether. Not on some, I got to do this by myself type shit, but it's going to be some, I can't use the family on this one. I got to do it by myself.
That was the initial jump to Raw. That was that, right?
Well, so here's the thing. So if we compare it to the Cody losing to Roman at WrestleMania 39, I understood the logic behind that because at the time Cody had really just come back, not only to the company but from injury. He had just come back from the Royal Rumble, and in hindsight, it didn't really make sense for him to end a 2-year run when he had just come back. Jey Uso, though, he's been around for a minute, and he's been over for a minute. There were some people that thought, even before the Yeet stuff, that he was super over, and that it was gonna die down, and it never did. He's still over. People thought his peak was gonna be. Remember that France crowd that he had, and they was all yeeting, and they had the lights, and people were like, "Oh, that's as over as he ever gonna be, and that's all it's ever gonna be." And then he's still over. People still love him. People pop for him when he won at the Royal Rumble. So, listen. Maybe you're right, and maybe this is just the beginning for him. But I feel like he's been over for long enough for them to finally put a world belt
Bro, being over don't mean that you get the belt. Jeff Hardy been over ever since he touched the scene. And how long did it take him to get the World Heavyweight Championship?
It took him a while. It took him a hot minute.
Some hype don't get hot. And you know what? He had a very similar beginning to his career, just like Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso. But
Jeff had his problems, though. That's the thing. Jeff had his issues, and Vince knew that.
Count. Hold on.
It do count. It do. Vince knew that boy was not right in the head.
Why it don't count? Because at the end of the day, no matter where you inserted Jeff Hardy, problems or not, he was going to be over. Tell me I'm lying. He could have came out there drunk like he did in TNA, and everybody would still watched.
Yeah, he would have been over, but you can't put your belt on that guy. You can't put your belt on him if he's going to be.
Hold on. Guess what? What you're exactly saying is the whole reason why Jey Uso don't have a belt right now. It's not necessarily that he has problems. He's been over for a long time. He's done this. He's done that. It's just not his time. Some things you have to let cook. And I'm with y'all. Look. I would love to push a superstar who was obviously have the look, the feel, and the people to the top. But think about this. When has this company ever had two babyface champions at the same time?
Well, we're thinking maybe John Cena's about to rip the belt off Cody.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I think you give one to Jay.
And that's
maybe.
Kind of thing. Maybe. Look, now you preaching something. Because now we're talking about John Cena going ahead and having an actual title run. When in all actuality, he's talking about taking the belt home. So we gotta see. We up. Look, this is peak wrestling year. Look, peak wrestling. You ain't into it. You just ain't into it, baby. It's peak wrestling time, baby.
This is the thing about the internet that sucks. We know John Cena's booked for like 5 shows right after WrestleMania.
Listen,
so we know he's not going all the way home. He's gonna be back. But I hate that part about the internet. That's the part that ruins it. The spoiler alerts and all that stuff. But you know he's coming. He's not gonna go home. He gonna have to.
I think he's saying he's gonna go home in December. Like he's saying, I'm gonna win the belt, keep it till December, and then I'm peacing out. And then I'll see y'all later. And I'm taking it with me.
And then y'all gonna have to make another belt, which is kind of interesting because that would mean.
Oh my gosh! I hope he brings back the spinner belt so bad. I so bad want him to bring back the spinner belt.
I would die if he brought back the spinner belt.
Oh my god,
that would be hilarious.
Bro, listen, them belts are like $500. I'd be thinking about it.
My boy looking at his account right now. That spinner belt.
Man, I'm like, man, $500 is a lot of money, but still, that mug spin.
I'm gonna be in that bitch just like this next time I get on this bitch.
Spin that mug.
I can dig it.
How do you think the build up for Cena and Cody is going today? They put on a banger today.
Oh, hey, well, they've been bangers.
They put on a banger today, baby.
But today was.
Listen, I'm behind. There are some of us at home that haven't watched it just yet because it was the European tour and we had things to do. We got weddings to prepare for. Okay.
My boy said he spent $300 on the hardcore title. $3 bills.
But
I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at you either because them mugs look good. Okay, when SmackDown used to be on Fox, they brought a couple wrestlers over to promote it, and they brought over a replica belt. They let us keep it. Oh, I seen that mug. They are nice. I'm telling you, they're nice. But anyway, I think they're building the Cena Cody thing very well. People entering into today, I haven't seen the show yet, but entering into today, people were a little bit frazzed that Cena wasn't talking back to Cody just yet. I was telling people, be patient. I feel like when he does talk back to Cody, it's going to be good. The look on Country's face. So we'll see.
It was some back and forth today.
I am patiently waiting on it. I'm seated for that.
And that's the thing, bro. They both have valid points. Cody was making some points today. I'm like, yes, he ain't lying.
He ain't.
And Cena was making some points like, I didn't say that before. You know what I'm saying? Bro, they tonight's Raw is a good. It's like, bro, how are they going to top this next week?
Yeah,
they got to throw Dwayne in there.
Oh, man. Okay. I gotta listen. I tried reasoning with country, and now I'm gonna appeal to Big G over here. Okay, brother.
Let's see.
We have to talk about The Rock just inserting himself every WrestleMania in the middle of the year. Okay, I'm telling you, I'm not a fan of the process. I'm a fan of the results. I'm a fan of how last year we got night 1 a great tag team match, and then night 2 we got one of the biggest moments in any WrestleMania ever. I'm a fan of the outcome. I am not a fan of the process. Okay, that man needs to stop just inserting himself in these year-long feuds. Okay, I tried to talk to country about it. I couldn't reason with them. I'm trying to reason with you. How do you feel about The Rock just every year, come WrestleMania time, he comes and asserts his will?
You literally 20 minutes ago tried to insert another man who did that all the time.
Well, that's different. That's different.
Oh, it's different. Is it different because he's white? Huh? He can do it because he's white? Listen.
You be consistent, okay? I failed at the consistency test. Okay, then tell country that The Rock can't keep doing this. He can't keep getting away with this.
As long as Vince McMahon ran the company, he inserted himself whenever he felt. Therefore, all the big moments in history that you are talking about that you can't see him inserting himself in, he makes it that much better every time he shows up. So, if you don't like the beginning and you like the end, did you really not like it?
It's bad process.
Every movie don't start off good, but if I walk off like, God damn, I gotta go see the next one. He did it.
Listen. Okay,
sound like Batman versus Superman to me.
Exactly.
Listen. Okay, I've explained this way to country too. I gave this same example. You remember in school when you would take math tests, okay, and you would get the right answer, but the teacher would take away points because you didn't have the right process. Okay, you got the right answer, but you did the process wrong. You didn't show your work correctly. That's what The Rock is doing. Okay, he's getting to the
3.1. I wasn't going back and doing shit. I wasn't going back. You gonna take this F? You gonna take this shit?
I guess so. I just don't like the process. Okay,
but I can excuse the process if it gives me these results, bro.
Yeah. It's also what they're supposed to do.
It makes sense. But to counteract that, a lot of people are saying, well, why Cena ain't mentioned The Rock? Why Cody ain't mentioned The Rock? He don't need to.
Yeah.
But as soon as he get back, as soon as he walked through that electrifying, it's gonna make sense. It didn't make sense at first, and you had a valid argument. But he brought it around, and it made sense.
Hold on.
That makes me so mad. That irks me.
You talk about the process. Everything as far as
they didn't like the math flashback, Rent. They didn't. Go ahead, G. I'm sorry.
But it's like this. Like, The Rock does this, coming back thing whenever he wants to, right? So tell me this don't actually make sense when you see it in hindsight. He drops a bomb and he don't have to say nothing. Remember when he walked out literally at the end of a pay-per-view and did just
bro, I'm telling you. That
everybody was like, oh. Then next week, then Cena turns heel. So I'm like, wait, y'all can hate the setup as much as you want, but this nigga throwing the nastiest alley-oops in the world, baby.
I despise that. I can't tell you how disappointed I was at that Bad Blood pay-per-view when I get this guy coming out, counting on his fingers and touching his throat. What are you doing? And then he doesn't show up for months. And then when he does show up, he's making friends with Cody Rhodes. It doesn't make no sense.
It's on your
It don't make no sense.
But you was there every show, wasn't you?
Exactly. He got you.
Bro,
got you.
There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way.
Look at you on the edge of your seat waiting on the next time you see the man.
I guess so. But okay. Riddle me this, man. How come I can't have both? How come he can't be more like Roman Reigns, okay? And that man barely shows up to anything ever. But when he does show up, it makes sense. Man, The Rock. Well, that's right. Bro, I'm telling you.
Hey,
guess what? That was another Travis Scott again.
Look,
Travis Scott where he at? I can go without
that was a mind child of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I'm telling you, that was a mind child of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Travis Scott being there, but don't nobody care, I guess.
It was like
man, they keep that
reins off of Dennis Rodman in WCW, and he just started punching niggas for real. Like
Did you see that shiner he gave Cody? That was insane.
That night, look, all right, so if you go back and watch that clip, I even said this on the 5 Count podcast that comes on the Tuesdays. I even said that when Cody hit him, you can look at John Cena's face and tell that wasn't a work. Like, he looked at him like, I got to keep going with it. Like,
yeah.
But
that wasn't what you were supposed to do, bro.
They was like, hey, yeah, good job. Sent you home and sent you a letter. Like everybody else, you're fired. Hey, big dog, I don't want to see you for 6 months.
Because Triple H gave him a look. We talked about it afterwards. Me and G, I know we had a wrestling chat group. We talked about it. Like, I know Triple H looked at him like, boy.
Yeah.
If you was my
golden goose like that again,
do to you right now. Cody's still looking for him though. Cody gonna give him a receipt.
He's looking for Travis.
It gotta happen. Travis, he's gonna hurt you. Oh man, I totally forgot where we was at. But
me too.
This is setting up to be one of the greatest WrestleManias. I thought 17 was gonna be hard to touch because Rock and Stone Cold are two of the best bills.
It's still gonna be hard to touch. I feel like the promo and the build-up is 17. We still gotta look. 17 lived up to the hype. That's what made 17 so good.
We need the best promo was that Jim Ross Rock Stone Cold interview.
Yes.
I think that Roman, Punk, and Seth could give us that one. I don't know how you can hold it all together. Is Michael Cole big enough to hold it all together? Pat McAfee sure can't do it.
It's got to start off with CM Punk in the ring first, then Roman shows up. And I feel like if they all have mics and they're all separate areas, they can make the best promo in the world. Like, Seth has to come out the crowd, though. Seth has to come out the crowd.
What if Paul Heyman did the interview?
Ooh, that could be. Well, but okay, so I feel that, but I don't know in kayfabe why Seth would ever agree to that. Like, I could see Punk agreeing to that. I could see Roman agreeing to that. I couldn't see Seth in kayfabe being like, yeah, I'm going to sit down with the guy that has a bias against not just one guy I'm facing, but the other guy too. But, I mean, but it could work, though. It could work. I'm just saying.
Like, it's a good spot for him to turn heel. It's a great spot for him to turn. Because, like, slowly but surely, you can see him kind of, more and more negative to the whole idea of everybody even being in the ring at the same time. So, like I say, if he was to come out in the crowd and cut a heel promo, you just took Seth Rollins and put him here.
Yeah.
Roman and Seth.
He would be the top heel in the company, I feel like. Well, second to Cena. It would be Cena, Seth, and then Gunther probably.
Well, I put it to you like this. I will put Seth Rollins over Cena in the sense of he's going to work way more matches and be a lot worse.
That's true.
Seth's going to be there every week.
Seth's going to be there every week, and he...
Uh-oh, did we lose G?
Oh, did he freeze?
Old school.
Okay. There we go.
We lost you for a minute.
Well, split second, I'm back. Nah, but I like Seth Rollins because he's old school. And what I mean by that is there's some people who come out there and wrestle and get hurt, and you don't see him for a little bit. You'll see the injury on him. He'll still talk shit to you and still beat your ass. And that's what I like about Seth Rollins.
He did it last year.
He'll do it every time. And that's what I kind of like as far as him being in any role for a long period of time. He can kind of work that a little bit. So him turning heel after this particular time frame, he's not necessarily been a heel. He's been the Messiah. He's been, Mr. Burn It Down. But at the same time, he's never been a real heel. Well, the only time he was ever a real heel was he was with the Authority.
Yeah.
Of course, after that, it kind of died out and everybody loves Seth Rollins again. I think it's time to go back to Hayden.
The thing that had never happened is Dean Ambrose coming back, but that would really just blow the roof off. That would literally blow the roof off of that bitch.
It would blow people thinking that Dean was there blew the roof off of WrestleMania 40 just because the Shield music hit.
Yeah,
and people thought for a second that it might be him.
That
he got me
for a second. You thought it was Dean Ambrose.
Like, look, I don't look at nothing without my glasses. I'm like. Ain't no way, Jack.
Because clearly these ain't working.
This obviously ain't matching with my ears. Like, this shit crazy. And ain't no way John Moxley is walking out of here in the Shield.
Man.
Because if he had walked out in the Shield uniform on, AEW would have lost power.
That would have been it.
They would have lost power. That would have been it. That's their catalyst. That's the person that kind of keeps them going. Because you know what's funny? And not to kind of go off topic, but this is a wrestling thing for me. I mean, and this is kind of alluding, this whole point is alluding to what I'm about to say right now. At one point in time, AEW was trying to beat WCW and compete. Now it's like they're more or less trying to be ECW and just be in existence. Because now it's like y'all really don't have anything that y'all really do that kind of set y'all apart, except for the wild shit. Like that's the only thing that sets y'all apart from actual wrestling. All the actual wrestlers go over there, kind of leave and come back to WWE, or if they start off there hot, they end their hotness or whatever. That like AEW is really good about killing streaks for some reason, like killing their hot superstars, giving it to somebody else. They want to one up everything every week, and there's no build to anything, in my opinion. So a lot of times, a lot of those superstars that you see come back or kind of leave and go to AEW and try to get their fame on, like Miro, Cody, a lot of these people who was, trying to go and make their stardom there, it kind of got killed because of the way they do things over there. Everything's a hardcore match. Like, I'm not going to lie. The biggest thing that AEW has did in the last few weeks was John Moxley had a bat hanging out of his back.
That was crazy.
Right now, that was insane.
That was crazy.
That was insane because as far as being a wrestling fan, you always want to see some shit like that. But at the same time, when you see it, it's just like, was it?
No, that wasn't it. That wasn't as good as I thought it was. It failed, man. I hated it.
It sounded like a good idea.
I sent the clip to Rip. I'm like, bro, what are they doing? No,
bro, that popped me. That popped me. I was like, dude, they really did that on cable.
For it, but it didn't last, bro. It was a quick fleeting. It was like,
I watch W for a living. Like Monday nights used to be just like that. Like they used to have Monday night in WCW. They had
Swerve is doing good over there.
Yeah, Tony Storm's doing great work as well. But yeah,
yes. Tony Storm is one of the ones that I feel like she needs to go ahead and just wrap it up and go ahead and bring her bags, get a bag of popcorn on the flight, and welcome to WWE. Because at the end of the day, is
that the new thing though? It's kind of like the new thing where it's just like, all right, they look good. I can't wait to see them in WWE.
No, I put it to you like this. The reason why I say I'd rather them come over to WWE because I know for a fact that your career is only going to be as good as what it is in AEW at that very moment. Tony Storm has been one of the biggest superstars in AEW since that motherfucking promotion has hit the ground. And Tony Storm has been nothing but better every week. So at what point do you see them making Tony Storm the face of that particular division?
I mean, I would argue she's the face right now. Her and Mercedes.
Why would you have to argue?
Well, because Mercedes
got like 5 belts right now.
She got 5 belts. She going crazy over there. Her matches are always
booking herself. Hey, bro, they can't let them keep booking themselves.
That's what I feel like. All right, so
they need a booker.
Anybody with over 2 belts, I don't respect in the sense of you're taking that company and doing something else with it because hold on, what do you need to have 5 belts for when there's 19 people in the business?
It's cool. It's cool to have all that gold. I love chains.
Look, I'm an advocate for gold. But this is the thing. When Curry was in TNA and he took
all them belts. That was crazy.
You know what's crazy about that? You had Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Booker T, Sting, Big Papa Pump,
Kevin Nash.
Nash. Anybody could have had a belt, but you had them all on his waist. Yeah. Not saying that he ruined anything, but I'm thinking like, all right, that's got to be the only time they ever do some shit like that. Because the only other people who are going to have multiple belts like that are boxers. Boxers and UFC fighters. So I guess in hindsight, if you want WWE to kind of be one of those leagues where you have multiple belts on one person, I don't want to see them fight for them. I don't want to see them just kind of have them squash matches against
defend them all in one night or something like that.
Like, give me something why you are worth having these belts. Because I'm not gonna say she don't deserve them, but some of the matches
she can still wrestle. She can still wrestle. That's not the problem.
She can go.
Absolutely. But the thing is, can she go 5 times?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like so, in NXT, I think it was last week. They had Stephanie Valkyrie. She's double belting right now,
and she defended them both.
She defended them both in the same night. So
I respect.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
I want to see you defend the motherfuckers on big nights. Like, I don't want to see like, all right, we going into Bad Blood and Sheamus has the Intercontinental title, the U.S. title, the tag team titles, and he's in a World Heavyweight Championship match too, and he defends them all and wins the belt. I would not be mad at that. But if you got him going out there and he has all these belts on his waist going into a championship match to go ahead and receive another belt and not defend any of the shit that he actually has, I'm gonna have a problem with it, because at the end of the day, you got this man holding up titles. You got matches that could be had for actually worth something. Well, you sit up here got all the belts on one person and they ain't gonna wrestle.
WWE got too much talent for anybody to do that right now. It's too many belts that need to be.
I say Brian Breaker could be a two belt champion.
I can see that. I can see that.
Like anybody who's the IC champion, I can automatically say that they deserve to go into a WrestleMania match for the World Heavyweight Championship and not have to defend their IC title, simply because that's the
interesting
title. Like everybody who has the IC title, you see them defend that championship way more than they defend anything else. So they don't have to come out every night to kind of defend that motherfucker, because they're going like that's just the marquee of that belt. Monday night, Thursday night, whoever has that belt, you got somebody on your docket. And
would you introduce a new belt? Would you introduce the European Championship back, TV title or something like that? Or is that too many?
You know what's crazy? The TV title would be the only one I would bring back, because of course it never had its rightful place in WWE.
Yeah,
right.
The European title, I felt like not was a gimmick title, but there's only like 6 people. Well, that's only 2 people I can think of that actually wore that belt in history that I can automatically think of off the top of my head.
Shawn Michaels,
not even Shawn Michaels. I think D'Lo Brown, and I
D'Lo Brown,
Owen Hart.
Okay.
And the thing about Owen having that belt for me,
didn't 1, 2, 3 Kid have it? X-Pac had it a couple times, didn't he? But that's about it.
At the same time, it's not really somebody you can think about who had that belt was just like, oh, they're lifting the belt up. I mean, you kind of say Kurt Angle was the first person who had multiple titles and kept doing it. And he was the first person to be Eurocontinental champion, where he held the Intercontinental Championship and the European Championship. So that'll be the only time I could say that championship had a little bit of oomph to it, because of course it was paired with something else.
Yeah.
But one belt obviously didn't mean as much as the other, and you can obviously see that. So the TV title, if you defended that every night, like this would have to be a superstar, not necessarily a 24/7 championship, but it would have to have rules to it. Like you can defend this belt on any show, any night, but it only has to be in certain, for certain competitors. Yeah. Like it has to be like the TV title, like you can defend. That's a belt for every night. Like you can,
and it has to be special though. But
exactly.
I like the fact that you said you can do either show. I like that. Because I don't know how you can make that work geographically though. Like,
look, I put it to you like this: Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown. You already know if you're not losing it on Monday, you know you got to be Friday. So it can
open
work
challenge style.
Like open challenge style, Walk that whole down and kind of eat. Anybody can kind of do it. So if it's like not necessarily like a 24/7, I don't want niggas be in the backstage finding the ref. Hey, like the hardcore rules. Nah, set up a match, and all right, this week you got, and the thing is, you can set up certain types of feuds with it to where you can have a special match at pay-per-view where you have 2 superstars from one show, one superstar from one show, one superstar from another show, and the champion in a triple threat match at a PPV. So then the belt goes back to the show after that.
I like that. I ain't mad about that.
That's just how I would do it. And if you had a belt to kind of do it, I would use the TV championship, because that's the only TV that's the only title that's going to be defended on the TV regularly.
All right. So Big G is from the Top 5 podcast, Top 5 Count podcast. They do a lot of top 5 lists. So we're going to do an impromptu, quick top 5 list. Okay, here we're going to do.
Okay.
Top 5 WCW versus WWE programs that should have happened during the invasion. So we got the invasion.
Oh my God.
We got Shane over WCW. We got Vince over What are the matches that should have? We know why it didn't happen. We know politics,
but should have. Yeah, okay.
That should have happened. I'm gonna go Rock versus Stone Cold. It should have happened. It should have happened.
You said Rock versus Stone Cold or Hogan?
No. Stone Cold versus Hogan. What I say? Rock versus Stone Cold. My bad.
That did happen. Yeah, I don't know if but it did happen.
They did. Really.
But
no, he said Rock versus Stone Cold happened. That's what you said at first.
Yeah, I said okay. I mean Stone Cold versus Hogan.
Stone Cold versus Hogan. I can see that.
Stone Cold versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
That was the ass woman should have been happened. I say NWO versus DX.
That would have been great. All right, I got one.
Scott Hall versus Triple H or Road Dogg and Billy Gunn.
Pick a DX member. It don't matter.
DX member really don't matter. X-Pac. If it was X-Pac and Triple H versus Scott and Kevin, a click match.
Ooh, that would have been great.
Done deal.
Great.
Done deal.
All right, I got one.
What's up?
Sting versus Taker.
Easy.
That should have happened. That should have happened.
Easy money.
I got one for you though.
Okay.
DDP versus The Rock.
Yeah, at the height of their powers. Yes. At the height of their powers, I can see that.
The People's Champion match. Man, we got
there's a lot of Goldberg matches that did happen though. It just he wasn't at like his tippy top.
Yeah.
So there's like I'm thinking like maybe Goldberg, Triple H, but man, Triple H did not like that, man.
Hold on. The thing about that is, all right, so you had Goldberg, who's a flash wrestler, in my opinion, which is not bad, versus people who actually had 10 to 15 minute matches. Now, none of Goldberg's matches were 10 to 15 minutes, so he wasn't going to ever give you that special match. Like, and I feel like if you would have wanted a Goldberg match, it was I want to see Goldberg squash whoever. And it's not necessarily saying that I want to see an actual match between them two. I just know that Goldberg's going to win at some point because that's all he does. He's going to come out, spear, point to the sky, jackhammer, and then we screaming Goldberg.
I just thought of one. Of one that should have happened. Goldberg made me think of it though. Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle. That should have happened.
That would have been a great match. That would have been
5 stars, 6 stars, 7 stars, 8 stars.
Shut down everything. We going. I don't care.
Come on. Do y'all have anything for Flair?
Ooh. We got Flair versus Hogan at some point. We had that.
Yeah. We got
Flair versus John was good.
Flair versus John, yeah.
Who's kind of a Jericho?
Older guy. Maybe Jericho. I mean, but I feel like they've had matches on Raw and stuff. It just wasn't WCW Flair. Like, what about WCW Flair makes you want to see him more than WWE Flair? You know what I'm saying?
A lot. His athleticism and his age.
It was better. Man, listen, you say that, but he was still surprisingly athletic, even during his WWE run.
That was, look, I put it to you like this. There are certain people who are going to give you that. And if you turn back the clocks on them, how good were they when they started?
Yeah.
You got to watch matches like Steamboat versus Flair to understand what Flair was doing when he was young.
Yeah.
That man was,
you're right.
He was the business. So at the end of the day, when his WWE run came, him being a tag team champion with Batista was kind of like perfect because he didn't have to do very much. He got
a whole bunch,
a couple moves, and then he was out.
Y'all got anything for Steiner?
Ooh.
I got Big Papa Pump versus JBL.
Ooh, that'd be good. Ooh. Oh, do the Steiner brothers versus
the APA
versus
Oh no. Okay, y'all trying to hurt somebody.
You can't watch a match like that and tell me you ain't gonna say, all right, one of these is gonna be the tag team champion.
Yeah.
We kind of got everything out of Booker T. Booker T was the one that benefited a lot from that invasion angle. He did a lot with a little bit of everybody.
Nothing to do with the top 5 that we're creating right now, and it has nothing to do with anybody that we talked about today. But I made a point to John, and you can see if you agree with this. everybody kind of talk about the street profits, right?
Yeah.
They break them up. I pitched this because I think this would be the best idea for Montez Ford. Have him win King of the Ring and be King Booker again.
Oh, do the King Booker gimmick, but with Montez?
With Montez and Bianca. And then they actually have matches where they out there on ringside with each other. So that's just a push because he has the personality.
He does.
He has the girl.
He does.
He has the charisma.
He does.
He's over as he needs to be to go ahead and not necessarily become a heel, but could become a very convincing heel if he needed to be.
The thing is, like, the King Booker gimmick for Montez, like, what would Bianca's role in that be? Because she's your main event talent. And she's going to have to stay that way.
She would still be Queen Sharmell, or in a sense be Sharmell, but she would.
Sharmell didn't wrestle, though.
Exactly. Sharmell didn't wrestle. But it'll be senses where, like, Montez would go to the ring for her matches, sit at the booth, and just talk trash just for her. See, this is the Queen's type of work. This is Queen work, not that fake Queen that y'all put out there. And this could be easily something to kind of destroy Charlotte or kind of come at Charlotte for some shit. That they can do that side, but that'll be
no,
y'all just want Angelo Listen, chill. We love Angelo on this show.
Hey, Angelo Dawkins, I love Angelo Dawkins. It's just a simple fact that I feel like it's about time for them to break up. They can do something better on their own. And I feel like Dawkins has a lot of personality to kind of do other things too.
Hey, man, that tag team division is high right now on SmackDown.
It is. And it might be too high for too many tag teams. It might be time for one of them tag teams to go and have that oddball tag team come into play. I always kind of like the fact that they have an oddball tag team that they put together. Just like today, they had a little oddball tag team with Penta and Braun Breaker.
Yeah, that didn't last long. I'm still patiently waiting for them to break Theory and Waller up. That needs to happen yesterday.
You're a big fan of Austin Theory.
I think there's something there, and I think he's getting punished because he was Vince's boy, and it's killing him right now.
He's been talking about Austin Theory for weeks now, and I'm like, "Are you Vince McMahon?"
Listen, at the same time,
I'm like,
there's potential there, man. It's not his ability.
I see what you see. Okay, it's just I don't know. The boy ain't been doing it yet.
I think him and Melo, they need something. They need something to push. Maybe they need a faction or something. I don't know, but they need.
That boy Melo time is coming.
To start a faction. Bring Jim Cornette back and start a faction to help these wrestlers.
Okay, we need to talk country. Okay, about you. Every time a manager. I know you're joking, but every time a manager is thrown out there, like having a manager out there, you always throw in Paul Heyman. That man has enough to do, okay, for you to just be throwing them out there into every faction that you come up with.
My man got a job already, country. You got to find somebody.
Yeah, I know. I just want Theory he needs help.
You do.
We talked about this a few weeks ago. Logan Paul's finisher.
Yeah.
He got it off on AJ Styles tonight. And
it looked good.
He's not going to be able to put it on everybody, but I like it. I like the what's Alexa Bliss finisher that I like? Have you seen that one?
Oh, the Sister Abigail DDT.
Yeah, God, I love it. Man,
it's slow build. It's a slow build though. It takes a while.
It's slow build.
Lost art. Putting somebody in a sleeper hole and tapping them out.
Gunther can do that,
Gunther's
though.
Been killing it lately.
The only one who's been doing it. For a while, I was like, nobody's really using submissions like that. Now we got him out here doing these amazing sleeper holes and putting people out, and I kind of enjoy the fact that you got somebody who's sleeping people again. Like, I love the fact that when Samoa Joe came over, he was the only person who was really
putting people to sleep.
Everybody getting that elbow.
Hey, you remember when Taz first came back?
Taz Mitchell was putting on everybody.
Bro, when he put Angle to sleep and Angle complaining weeks, he was like, he cheated.
He cheated.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was a rear naked choke.
I want somebody to that's what I miss. I miss somebody coming out and choking people out. Give me a Dean Malenko, a man of 1,000 holes. Let me get that again.
Okay, quick question, George, before we get out of here. Rusev is rumored to be coming back.
Yeah.
How would you book Rusev back? Is he Rusev when he comes back? Is he Miro? Is he something else?
That's a good
what
question.
Would you do with him? Would you put him with somebody? How would you book him?
I would book him to come in and be really hot, but to still lose. So he can
elaborate a little bit.
So if he was to come in and be one of Gunther's opponents,
Gunther
would have to not necessarily squash him, but beat him in a match. And Rusev would have to give him the match of a lifetime. Because to be honest, let's say Rusev comes back kind of closer to WrestleMania and not really feuds with anybody. But let's say he feuds with, Jey Uso or something like that. Or he feuds with Gunther or something. Or maybe better yet, you can have him beat a faction. Or like knock off somebody like Damian Priest or something. Like, give him something that is believable.
What show would you put him on?
I probably would have to put him on SmackDown, but then again, I think about it, Raw needs a little bit more primetime player, if that makes sense. Like, there's a lot of people who are at the top of the card that are holding belts or even in matches. And there's not a lot of people that's top of the card.
Man, you have to mute your mic, man. Are you cooking?
Oh man, listen. We got this podcast going at 6:30. I got to make dinner too. Okay, I cook in this house.
You loud though.
All right, I got you.
Would you bring Lana back with him though?
They ain't coming back.
Ooh,
they just got married again. Then they redid the vows, right?
Is that something for WWE that they're doing? Because that's kind of weird that y'all broke up and y'all left the company. And then
leave that.
Speaking of Lana,
need to voice of Lana so he would have to. Bro, listen, okay? Leave that poor woman alone. Let her be at peace, finally.
Okay, leave her alone.
I think so. Like, they even tried working her into AEW storylines, and it didn't even work. Like, it's time to leave it be.
I would have Rusev, like, kind of beef with the Judgment Day. That way, he get a couple of easy W's. Like him versus Finn Balor, him versus maybe Carlito or JD McDonough when he gets back. Maybe something like that. And then, of course, he just kind of walks through them and just kind of, does his own thing. I don't think you bring him back as to be like a powerhouse like Rusev. Like, when Rusev first came in, it was like...
It was amazing the first...
Nobody was fucking with
it. At the beginning, it was amazing.
Yes. Nobody was fucking with it. I don't think they do that twice. I think he has like a good pop. I think he has a great... return. I have a couple good matches in the beginning, but that he has to feud with somebody to make his return worth it.
You bringing him in as a baby face?
We did the heel work.
Yeah, we did the heel one.
So I'm not saying that we don't go back.
I don't know where Rusev fits in the WWE right now.
I don't right now.
I don't know where he fits.
Like, to be honest, and this is not even a shot at him as far as his career. I say he's supposed to start in NXT. I say he go in NXT.
Ooh, that's too far, dog.
No,
is that too far down?
Is it really?
Because they had Corbin down there.
They had Corbin.
Corbin was doing great, and I don't, man. But I'm biased to Corbin because he's from Kansas City. I'm biased. I want him back. Actually, he didn't go to AEW. He ain't in AEW yet, so he can still come back. Triple H, come on, Triple H. Do the right thing.
The reason why I say Rusev can go to NXT is because there are superstars that he can get, his get back with, like as far as coming up back into the ranks. If he was to have a feud with Obafemi before Obafemi go over to, you
right. He can make him look like a star.
Make him look like a star. But then, of course, not only get him over to the next brand, but follow him to that next brand and work him all the way to the top. Like, there's some personal feuds. Like, Triple H and Shawn Michaels was always a feud that you can just kind of plug in.
Yeah.
He used to be in a
whenever you needed it.
He didn't have anybody that he's ever beefed with to where you can say, if I put Miro in the match with this person, they're going to have history. Nah, it's not. Mm-hmm. So you need to kind of start that. Like, I would say, get him one of them NXT talents. Max out with NXT too. So it's a valid shot. I mean, you're only building more character and more, feuds that you can kind of build in an early stage. Like him in NXT is not a bad idea. I just feel like we kind of look at him as what he did last time and trying to put him back there. And had his whole that had a whole thing within itself. That's why he's not here in the first place. So we don't want to make the same mistake, but we also want to build him to where he knows that he has a longevity run within the company.
Okay, another guy that was rumored to come back today. I think it was announced today. Dragunov, September. Same. I've been missing. I like Dragunov, bro. He's nice, bro. He is nice, bro.
Well, he got hurt. I'm not gonna lie. You Dragunov, come out here. No, I like that. Like he is like a mini Gunther in the sense of he can dish it out.
Yeah, and he got that intensity.
Him and Rusev together as a foreign. You remember what was the name of the United Nations when Sheamus and McIntyre, all those guys got together?
But that never. But I think it was something like the United Alliance or something. But it didn't work.
It didn't work. It was immediately destroyed at that WrestleMania when Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, and Cactus Jack came out there and beat their ass. I heard nothing else about it.
You would have to book them stronger than that.
It was crazy to me. That was a 3-on-4. So you basically...
And they still got their ass.
Yeah, exactly. So you basically walked them out there.
Yeah, you killed it.
They killed their ass instantly. Because I'm going to tell you right now, in no scenario, I don't give a damn how many times Stone Cold comes out. There's no 3-on-4 scenario where I take 4 World Heavyweight Champions and then put them in the ring against 3 legends and the 4 World Heavyweight Champions lose.
Yeah.
That's just like insane to me. If you wanted that to kind of be anything more than what it was, that was the peak of them right there, going to WrestleMania and getting their ass kicked. And I hate to say it, but I'm glad it happened because you had 4 people who was never going to be 4 hard. Like it was like y'all was never going to get the evolution out of that. Y'all was never going to get a tag team world heavyweight champion and intercontinental champion off from that group.
They didn't give it a chance though either. They didn't really give it a chance.
I mean, Vince wasn't never going to really give it a chance.
Vince's memory. I feel like at a certain point, Vince's memory was real short because he kept moving on to shit. Like if you think about it, he went from that group to another group to another group to another group real fast. And nobody had no build. Like the last time he had a real build with the group, and nobody really liked that group either, was the Spirit Squad. And of course, when the Spirit Squad came, it was basically a bunch of young talent who was trying to get over, and they only had 2 of them that they wanted to keep. Neither one of them, and they ended up keeping somebody totally different, who we all know is Dolph Ziggler now. So at the end of the day, I feel like all those groups, he was just trying to look for the one superstar out of the group. And it kind of kept being very obvious that he wanted one person out of this group to kind of be the forefront, and then everybody else kind of fall in line of being like secondary talent, which that group itself was a bunch of primetime players. Like with Rusev, he left because at one point in time he was up there, then he wasn't. Then he kind of got mad about it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not mad that you left, but I'm gonna hate the way you come back. I said this a long time ago, country. He wasn't coming back. And now look at him. He's actually coming back to WWE. And now at the end of the day, everything that you said when you went over to AEW, it kind of comes back looking like, oh, was that even real? Was that even true? Like that's the one I hate the brand jumps. Because when you jump brands and you talk about the other brand that you just left, bro, I guarantee you it ain't gonna go like you always think it do. And that's why this is not what you expect it to be. And then you get over there and you have to kind of eat crow and then come back. And then, of course, now you're starting at the bottom of the card. That's why I say he ain't starting up where Rusev left off. He ain't.
No, you're going to have to work his way back.
Work your way back in. That's why I say NXT is a legitimate shot for him to still be a superstar as well as still be somebody who we can kind of focus on being somebody that's still in the company for a couple of years.
Do you think Jericho could ever come back?
I don't think Jericho ever would come back.
He could. Yeah, I don't know if he would, but he could, absolutely.
Yeah, he could.
Jericho?
He didn't talk a lot of Jericho. He talked a lot of.
Yeah, but so did CM Punk for 10 years.
He didn't talk more than Punk did.
Who?
The thing about Jericho.
The
thing about
Punk talk way more trash.
Absolutely.
Punk said, I'd rather not wrestle than be back with y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
And look at him flourishing.
And the funny thing was, he didn't even wait to come back. It was just like as soon as shit went south at AEW, the music hit and everybody was popping. And Seth Rollins right then was already getting that feud popping right then and there, talking about this motherfucker, he's here. Like I was like, bro.
He showed them immediately how to take personal things and make money out of it.
Yes.
And AEW just couldn't make the money off the personal issues. Like they should still be running Punk versus the Young Bucks. Punk's versus.
We don't have time in this show to talk about the failings.
We don't. I'm sorry. My bad. I just
definitely a whole nother show. I had to come back on another day for that.
We definitely gotta have you back, man. We enjoyed you, man, and you added a lot of thoughts. You got me thinking. Yeah. You the first person that made me think about Jey Uso losing at WrestleMania. I hate you for it.
My job is to be objective in this world and understand exactly what happens when it happens. Trust me. Like I say on my show, like anything can happen at any point in time. We do these top 5 lists for a reason, and I think that everything is going to be ranked in a certain way. So tune in tomorrow, by the way, to the top 5 countdown. We have some very, very, very special, information to kind of come through. We got a good show. It's been absolutely amazing to come on this show. 2 words for you.
Appreciate you. I got it. Hey, tell John we coming to Canada next. I ain't forgot about it.
Hey, I forgot about it. Gotta make that trip. We all gotta make that trip. It's be real nice. It's gonna be cold in a bit though. I know. My man been talking about an ice storm happened last week, and it was like Thursday. I'm like, it's
supposed to snow Sunday or something here. I don't know.
And you see up there with y'all.
You got to bring the weatherman on and tell us about what it's going to do to.
Joe, so listen, I can get Joe on this. We go? I don't think so. Listen, as soon as this turn off, we turn in Raw on, and we see what the hype is all about, and I'll text you and let you know.
Yeah, I was right. We're definitely going to talk about it. We're going to have to do an emergency podcast because I got a thumbnail that goes great with this episode. So. Hey, man, thank y'all. Thank you, Big George. Thank you, 5 Count Podcast. Shout out to my boy, Canadian John. What up, John? All the fellas, man, you know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for coming by. This is 2 words for you. We'll see you next week. We'll recap SmackDown, Raw, and still preview this big-ass WrestleMania that's coming, man. We'll see y'all next week. We out.